Welcome to day 159. 158 other videos about how I've become successful in business, in life, and in health. Great information, plus a 3-hour seminar that you can watch for free. Great information. I don't want to waste your time. I want to give you stuff that makes good sense, good common sense. So for the last couple of days, I've been talking about how to make money and how to get rich the creative way and not the competitive way. So a lot of this information is coming out of the book, The Science of Getting Rich. This is an incredible book and it's in public domain. I bought this copy on Amazon for about $24 or $28, delivered within 2 days. Getting rich the creative way. It's really pretty simple. Getting rich the competitive way is basically I need to take something from someone else, take their value or their money, and make it mine. That's the competitive way. Simple. Or getting rich the creative way is that I invent something or I provide a service that has not been done and people pay me money for that service, just like a lot of you people are trying to make money on YouTube by doing videos. And if you get a lot of views and a lot of likes, then Google is going to pay you a revenue. And there are a few people on the internet, on Google, that are making money, but the majority of us don't make money that way. The reason why I'm making this video is to share with you guys the knowledge that I've gotten from reading thousands of books, from 64 years of experience. I was listening to a guy today, and he said that the older he gets, the more he relies on other people's experiences to make decisions. That if someone falls in a hole and tells him, don't go down this street because you're going to fall in a hole, if he believes in their credibility, he's not going to walk down that same street today and see if he falls down the hole. So he's able to learn from other people's experiences. We don't have to learn everything ourselves. And one of the things in school, they teach us to rely on ourselves to figure out the problems ourselves and not ask for help. Well, in the business world, it's all about asking for help. It's all about learning from other people. One of my favorite statements is, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has been invented, and I can use the wheel without having to invent one or without having to fully understand how a wheel functions. Same thing with electricity. Obviously, I don't know a lot about electricity, but I use it all the time. So here's a couple of examples of getting rich the creative way. One, I'm going to talk about rental property, a rental house. Okay, now I buy rental property and I pay for the entire rental property in cash. I do not borrow money. If you're not in a position that you can buy a house for cash and you need to finance it, I recommend that you look for another investment that will give you a 10+ rate of return, annual rate of return. And then when that makes enough money where you can buy a piece of property for cash, I would recommend buying a piece of property. But there's going to be some hassle factor to owning real estate. A lot of people I know say they want to own real estate. They really like the real estate market. Owning rental property has its issues. Now, I have over 30 paid for houses and commercial properties right now. And I have 5 vacancies. 5 vacancies right at the same time. And those 5 vacancies I am losing $7,000 of income because they're vacant. And the reason why they're vacant is for different reasons. Some of them at the end of their lease have decided to move to another city or another town, and that was anticipated. Some of the people that have moved out of the properties could not afford the properties. They were behind on their rent and they decided to move somewhere else. And so now I've got $7,000 worth of income that I'm not getting, and if I had a bank loan to use that cash for, to use that to pay that bank loan, I'd be in serious trouble. But all of my houses are paid for. So some expenses that I have ongoing, even if the houses are empty, is electricity, gas in the wintertime, water, sewage, and trash service. Also, I have to pay property taxes, and I have to have the houses insured. So there is an ongoing expense even if the houses are not leased or rented. So I'm glad that I do not owe any money on the properties. Now, you're saying, okay, but I want to get into real estate. How can I get into real estate? I'm going to tell you this. You make your money in any business when you buy, and you receive it when you sell. So if you want to get into real estate, what I would recommend, one, become a realtor. That's probably the easiest, quickest way in the United States to kind of start your own business, and that is to become a realtor. By being a realtor, you can learn all about the real estate. You can go commercial or you can go residential. I have a friend of mine that just recently got his real estate license. He is selling residential properties. Now, that is one of the easiest ways. Now, another way to get into the real estate business is to look for properties that are a great buy. Now, if you don't have the money, it's important to have an investor that will partnership with you so that when you find a piece of property, that you will put them in contact with the seller and help them to buy that piece of property. Maybe they'll give you a percentage of the house. Maybe if it's a $100,000 house, they'll give you 10% of the house, a $10,000 finder's fee, and you'll get 10% of the profits over the course of the time that you own the house. So you can get creative, and that right there is making a profit, helping someone else. That is making a profit at being creative. So you don't have to have a lot of money, but I don't recommend you borrow a lot of money to buy houses. I don't recommend you borrow money to do real estate unless it is a really well thought out process. I go to sleep every night because I don't owe anybody, banks, credit cards, or anything, money. I don't owe money. And the first, years of my adult life, I owed money. And I was stressed. I had credit card bills. I would go out to a restaurant and I would buy a dinner, and then I would just make the minimum payment 30 days later on my credit card. So then I was paying 18 to 19 to 20% interest on a meal that I ate a month ago. So I do not charge anything on my credit card that I can't pay for this month. And if I need it, now if it was a medical situation, it was to save my daughters or to save my wife, I would probably put that on a credit card and I would pay the interest until it was paid off, but only in extreme emergencies. I wouldn't go out and buy a car. I wouldn't go out and buy furniture on a credit. I just do not use credit at all. And some people say, well, what's your credit rating? I don't care what my credit rating is. Because not only do I not borrow money, I have capital, I have money, just plain simple cash money in the bank. Now a lot of people say, that's a bad idea because you're not getting any interest. Well, when you have lots of cash in the bank, and I say lots of cash, for some people that might be $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. That's a lot of cash to a lot of people, especially if you don't have any debt. If you make, say, $2,000 a month and you have now saved $4,000 or $5,000, that means you could go without work for a couple of months before you would have to get a job. That would take care of a lot of these emergencies, small emergencies. So getting to a point of not owing anybody any money is a wonderful feeling. How can we do that? Well, we can minimalize. We don't have to have a brand new car when we can go out and buy a used car. If you do not have a car, you have zero satisfaction as owning a car. But if you go out and buy, in Oklahoma, you can buy a car for $2,000 to $3,000 that is safe, that it has a nice appearance, that is dependable, for $2,000 or $3,000. And you can probably pay cash for that, or you can make a substantial down payment to be able to get a car. Now, I deal with a lot of people that are just starting out in life as far as financially. Maybe they've had serious setbacks because of alcoholism or drug addiction or because of criminal activities, and they just got out of prison. I recommend that anybody that's restarting their life or just getting started, that they ask 10 people for 10 days if they have a car or they know someone that has a car that they would give them. Yes, ask for a car for free with 10 people for 10 days. They can be the same 10 people, but you probably won't get a car that way. It's good that you just ask people randomly and then have a reason why you want them to give you a car. Right now, I think I've got 6 cars. I don't need 6 cars. There's a couple that work here. His wife had a wreck. Their car was totaled. They were making payments on it, so now they're not making any payments. I think it got paid off by the insurance, but they were down to 1 car and they needed another car. Well, since I got so many cars, and they're not expensive, really nice cars. I mean, they're nice cars as far I take good care of my cars. But I was able to say, I will loan you a car until you guys get back on your feet financially. So I loaned them a car, and they were so happy to be able to get a car to use for maybe a month or 2 months at no cost, other than they're just going to put gas and maintain the car while they've got it. So our subconscious or our conscious mind says, I want a car. I got to have a car. First it's I want, then I've got to have a car. And with Uber and with buses and with friends and all kinds of ways to get around, we don't all need to have a car. You can ride a bicycle. You can walk. There are so many ways to get around. Now in Oklahoma City, I live about 12 miles, probably about 10 miles from my house to my office. In order for me to get here on foot, I run about 11 to 12 minute mile. So it would take me a few minutes, over an hour to get here if I ran. But just think of this, I'd be in better shape. So if I walk, it'd take longer. If I rode a bicycle, it would be quicker. If I take an Uber, it'll probably be cheaper than if I own my own car. If the only thing I use that car, the only time I use Uber is from my office, from my house to my office, and from my office to the house. Some people, that's all they drive, but they own a $30,000 car. So we want to look at, do I really need a car, or can I use other resources to get to where I want to go? So one of the things I want to talk about is I'm doing a seminar tonight. I'm doing a seminar here at the company. We're going to use the company conference room. I hired a salesperson, and he has been selling tickets for the last month for our seminar. Now, we're not having to rent a space. We're not having to spend a lot of money on advertising, because this friend of mine has just graduated from college and he's starting his professional career. The tickets are only $100. All profits that we get from this are going to go to the World Book Bank, which is a nonprofit organization where we donate books to people in jails and prisons. And so hopefully we have room for 100 people to be able to attend this seminar. But this is the first time we've done the seminar since COVID. And so it's been over a year since we've had the seminar, and to be quite honest, I'm a little bit rusty. But he's been selling the tickets. We have, I believe, around 15 people that will be attending this seminar. And I have been thinking about this seminar for weeks, planning on what I want to say, sharing with people the stuff that will help them to be more successful in life, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. So there's been really very, very little expense put into this. The gentleman that's selling the tickets is on commission, so I'm not paying a salary. He is a contractor, so he is not an employee. He has free choice of when he works, where he works, and how he works. So he's got total control of his life. He's basically self-employed. and he's selling these tickets, and he's sold about 15 tickets. He hasn't made as much money as he could maybe at a job working for somebody else, but he has learned a lot. He has learned how to do marketing, he's learned how to accept no's, and he's gotten, in the first week of him selling tickets, he didn't sell any tickets at all. I don't think he even sold any tickets in the second week, but in the third and the fourth week of him selling tickets, he's been selling tickets. And his self-worth, well, I see him around the office here, and he's walking with a purpose in his walk. He's happier, he's laughing, he's accomplishing something. See, a lot of us want to get rich quick. Get rich quick doesn't really happen. It happens in the movies, it happens in 30-minute sitcoms or 27-minute sitcoms, but in real life it doesn't happen that way. You got to take some action, you got to stay committed. First thing what I say is you got to have an idea, you got to take action, you got to stay committed. And so that's what Dylan is doing right now. And tonight's seminar is going to be from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And like I said, it is a low cost. That is getting rich the creative way. Now, what I envision, what I imagine is in a month or so, we're going to be able to have 100 people. And if you have 100 people times $100, that's $10,000 that seminar is going to create. And say we pay him a good percentage of that, and then the rest of that will go directly to the World Book Bank so we can donate more books, which will help people that are in jails, prisons, Job Corps centers, and schools to be able to have the knowledge so that they can be successful also. So what I want for myself, I want for everybody. The kind of house that I live in, I want other people to be able to have the kind of house I live in, to have the kind of cars I drive, or better. I want all people to be successful. If I was getting rich the competitive way, I wouldn't want everybody to have better cars or the same kind of cars or the same kind of house, because I would want them to be envious. I'd want to be the best of the best. I still want to be the best I can possibly be. I want to be the best educated I can be. I want to be in the best physical condition I can be in, but I want other people to come along with me. That's why on Saturday mornings at 5:30 a.m. at a lake here in Oklahoma City called Lake Hefner, I run every Saturday at 5:30, no matter what the weather is, and anybody that wants to join us can. Sometimes it's just me. No one shows up. Sometimes there's 5 to 10 to 15 people that show up to run. Because a lot of people have read the book, Mentor, the Kid and the CEO. And that's another thing right there. Getting Rich the Creative Way with the book, Mentor, the Kid and the CEO. The paper and the ink don't cost much. But the book sells for $14.95. That's a pretty good margin of profit. But when a person reads the book, Mentor, the Kid and the CEO, they're going to gain knowledge that's going to help them to have a better life. Also, when they read the book now, we've got a essay contest going on. They can win $5,000 by doing an essay on what they learned from reading the book. And I'm not looking for grammar, and I'm not looking for great spelling. What I'm looking for is from the heart, how did the book positively affect you? Did you write a dream list? Because it's really important for us to have a dream list or a goal list, and it's really important to have a system to get there. The book Mentor, the Kid and the CEO is about a relationship between the CEO and a kid over about a 3-year period of time. And there's a lot of great information in there for someone to be able to be more successful. Success to me means achieving worthwhile goals. That's what success means to me, is if I'm achieving worthwhile goals, I'm successful. And if I'm achieving worthwhile goals today, then I've had a successful day. And if I do that all week long, I've had a successful week. And if I do that all month long, I have a successful month. And if I do that all year long, I have a successful year. Now, COVID's going on, there's bad weather going on, there's wars going on, there's fires going on. What is it I want to focus on? What I can focus on for sure is how healthy am I? How polite am I? How loving and kind am I? How much do I give of my time and of my money to help other people? How respectful am I? I can't do anything about the fires on the East Coast, on the West Coast. I can't do anything about those right now. But what I can do is I can be the best CEO of Pacebutler I possibly can. I can be the best husband I possibly can. I can be the best father that I can. Which that also reminds me, in 2002, when I was going through my desert, when my life was on the edge, whether I was thinking about ending my life because everything was going so horrible in 2002, my daughters, my wife, and I went into a studio and we recorded a message for me. And the message was, what did I like about myself? What are some of the qualities that I liked about myself? And I recorded those. And my daughters recorded what they liked about me also, and so did my wife. Another part of the recording was, I took the book, The Purpose-Driven Life, and I went through all 40 chapters of that book, and I took information out of that book that gave me hope, that made me feel good, that gave me a possibility that things would get better, because in 2002, I didn't think they would. And then in the back of the book, Mentor the Kid and the CEO, I wrote a list, it's called The List, of actions that I can take that make me feel better. Like, go visit someone in the hospital, go visit somebody in prison or jail, call a friend that I haven't talked to in a long time, go pick up trash, be polite, open a door for someone. And the list just went on and on and on. And I have that list. So when I get in my car sometimes, I just plug it in and listen to that as I'm driving somewhere. And I also mixed it with the theme music from the movie Rudy. Now, if you've never watched the movie Rudy, I highly recommend it. It's an incredible movie. It's based on a true story. Rudy wanted to play football. He wanted to go to Notre Dame, and he wanted to play football in the Notre Dame, and everybody told him he couldn't do it. But he did it. Real life experience. And if you haven't watched the movie Rudy, please do, because it's an incredible book. It's an incredible movie, and it just makes me feel good. So once again, I want to talk about making money the creative way. How can you make money the creative way? It's a mindset. It's not just, it's a mindset. It will, if I do a transaction with somebody else, will they win? Will I win? Will society win? Will they win? Will society win? Will I win? That has to be making money the creative way. So think about, how can we do that? If you wanted to make money, you could make burritos in your own kitchen. And you could wrap them in aluminum foil, and you could go sell burritos for $2 or $3 that cost you 50 cents to make. And you'd want to be really careful that you don't do it, and you do it so it's germ-free, so you don't want to get anybody sick. But you can make banana nut bread. You could bake bread in an oven for maybe $1 or $2, and you could sell it for $7 to $10. And that would bless somebody to have something like that. So there are so many ways. You could go to Dollar Tree and you could buy a product for $1, and then you could go sell that same product in a different location for up to $10. And that is not an unreasonable profit margin. You can go to Dollar Tree and you can buy a Bible for $1. A Bible for $1 that some people pay $50, $100, $200 for a Bible, with leather bound and so forth, but the words are the same inside that Bible. So you could go buy a Bible for $1 at Dollar Tree, and you could sell it to someone else for $10. You can make $9. Now, what your $9 is paid for is not just the Bible itself, but the service that you're bringing to them by delivering the Bible to them right there. You're making it very convenient for them. And if you've actually read the Bible, you might share one of your stories in the Bible, one of the books of the Bible that have really been meaningful to you. One of the experiences in the Bible is in Genesis, chapter 37 through chapter 50. It's about a kid named Joseph that grew up to be an adult. and he had a dream. And when he shared his dream with his brothers, they became jealous and envious, and they wanted to kill him. They didn't kill him, they ended up selling him into slavery. And it is an incredible book, because we are all going to deal with setbacks in our lives, tough times that we want to just give up. But if you read the story of Joseph in Genesis, the first book in the Bible, I think it'll be really inspirational for you if you're willing to take the actions that Joseph did. I love sharing my information, my experiences with people that want to be successful. Like I said, success to me is achieving worthwhile goals, and I'm sure you've got great goals. If you want to make a comment down below and let me know what's going on, if you have a question, feel free to put it down below, or just give me a phone call. My phone number is down below in the information. Subscribe if you want to. Share this with others if you want to. I'm making one video a week, around 15 minutes. I will be talking about things that are going on currently running the business, and if you've got questions about the business, how we run a successful business since 1987, I'll be happy to answer those questions. You can call me. You can please read the book Mentor and enter the essay contest and win $5,000. Okay, so we're going to be going to Wyoming next week to give away $5,000 to a kid that wrote he was in the last essay contest. He didn't know we're coming, I don't think. I did tell the people around him that we were coming, and I said you can tell him, so I don't know if they told him or not, but we're going to be carrying this suitcase on the airline with $5,000 inside this suitcase, all $1 bills. And that'll make this pretty heavy, okay? Right now, it's not so heavy because there's no money in here. But next week, it's gonna be full of $5,000 $1 bills. And it is gonna be kind of heavy. We're gonna carry this on the airplane. Now, I've got a pair of handcuffs. I've got a pair of handcuffs that we could, lock it on here, and that'd be kind of fun. But I think that'd draw attention to us if we were walking through the airport with the handcuffs on the suitcase. We'd probably for sure get robbed, but I don't think we'll get robbed with this just being a briefcase. So I'm really looking forward to giving away $5,000 for the essay contest. And if you read the book Mentor, The Kid and the CEO, and you think it was a complete waste of your time, I even offer a $50 guarantee. So you call me and tell me why you think it was a complete waste of your time, and if I agree with your reasoning, I'll give you $50. But I don't think you'll be calling me to tell me it was a waste of your time. Thank you very much for tuning in.